BYD and Shell are in partnership, and it's caused a bit of jealousy in me. BYD, based in Shenzhen, China, makes what they call NEVs, or new energy vehicles. It's about half and half of plug-in hybrids and battery electric vehicles. And Shell is one of the largest fossil fuel companies. It might be seeing the light. BYD and Shell entered into a charging partnership back in March 2022 to develop an EV charging network in China. These two large companies formed this joint venture, and they've just opened the largest ever charging station in Shenzhen, just 2.5 kilometers from the Shenzhen airport. Now, this is Shell's largest charging station in the world. It's got 258 public fast charging terminals, and it's capable of charging in excess of 3,300 EVs each and every day. 258 terminals in one place. That's more than we've got in the whole of Western Australia. And here in WA, it's around 33% of the total landmass of Australia, with an area of about 2.5 million square kilometres. And that's almost 4 times the size of Texas. Now, one city in China, Shenzhen, they've installed 258 charging terminals. You can see why I'm jealous. Now, in addition to these 258 fast charging terminals, it also offers retail, coffee, dining and lounge services. And the other thing is there are solar panels on the roofs, and that can generate around 300,000 kilowatt hours, or if my maths is correct, that's 300 megawatt hours of electricity per year, which can be used to charge the electric vehicles. So that's pretty green. Now, both BYD and Shell are expecting to operate more than 10,000 EV charging terminals, wait for it, in Shenzhen alone, with plans to expand to other Chinese cities in the future. I'm jealous again. Now, in addition to BYD, Shell have also signed a strategic cooperation agreement with NIO, and they did this back in November 2021 to jointly build NIO's battery swap stations in both China and in Europe. Now, the first one of these went into operation in Xiamen in southeastern China on the 1st of August 2022. And on May the 16th this year, 2023, the first European NIO Shell swap station went online in the Netherlands. Now, NIO and Shell plan to jointly install 100 swap stations in China, and I think that's in addition to NIO's almost 1,800 swap stations in China that they've got as of August 2023. And they're going to continue to expand with a few pilot stations in Europe. Here in Australia, Ampol is installing EV fast DC charging terminals in some of its petrol gas stations. And in fact, they've already installed one just down the road from me. So if ever I get caught short on charge and need to go somewhere in a hurry, I can just pop down the road. And they're planning for a total of about 120 charging sites, and several of these are already in operation. So perhaps some fossil fuel companies are seeing the light and realizing that their future in supplying fossil fuels to internal combustion engine vehicles is on the way out. And the future is in supplying EVs with their electrons. Even BP Pulse is opening EV chargers in Australia, and they're planning around 600 across Australia. But BP's network of petrol stations or gas stations is around 1,400, but no dates yet has been given for any of these to be completed. So, what do you think of all this? Fossil fuel companies joining up with EV manufacturers, or just putting in charging stations. I think it's the right way for these companies to go. I mean, in England, you've got quite a few places are installing chargers. When I was driving around there last year, I stopped off at quite a few rest stops where there were petrol stations, and they had 4, 5, 6 fast DC charging points there. And even the rest stops next door had got 4 or whatever fast DC charging stations. So it's beginning to catch on. I just wish it would happen a bit quicker, because that way we get more electric vehicles onto the market, because people would then see how easy it is to charge these vehicles up. And I think putting them in where petrol stations are at the moment is good, because people going in to fill up with their very expensive at the moment petrol and diesel will see the charging points there, and they might even see EVs plugged in there. I know at the one at the end of my road, it's got amp charge and an Ampol station, and I frequently, as I'm driving past, see Teslas parked in there charging up. And there we have it. Petrol stations getting EV chargers. I'm all for it. I think it's excellent, and it will only complement what's happening around Australia with various governments putting in EV chargers like the WA EV network, and we've just had another one opened up in a place called Jurien Bay. So, you know, it's getting there. A year or so ago, I would have had difficulty driving around because there were very few. Now there's a lot more fast DC charging stations. So comment below what you think about this latest trend. Certainly I'd like to see a few of these larger places over here in Western Australia. So thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, if you could click that like and subscribe button below, that would be very helpful for the channel, and obviously it won't cost you anything. And I do have that Ko-fi link below where you can buy me a coffee, or buy me a coffee every month if you like. That would be really very nice. And I'll see you all very soon.